Matt, Zirnsak, and Zirnsak. This one promises to be a good one. We have 8 competitors that are all going to shoot up for that number 1 spot.
And we wait for this all year round. And the men's got a big thing to keep up because the women just put on an
huge shoes to fill. Zirnsak,
yep.
It's barebow time.
Buddy.
Tell us about a barebow.
Okay, so barebow is basically a stripped down Olympic recurve. No sights, no stabilizers, no release aids, no clickers. Essentially, our bow has to fit through a 12.2 centimeter ring. That's not very big. No, it's about a 4-inch ring, right?
Other than liking turtles right now, that's all I can think of. No, it's awesome. I mean, this is crazy. I tried to tell myself it's not going to be that bad, but it's a lie. If you guys heard any loud noises a few minutes before we came out, Santo decided to kick my bow about 15 foot across the floor.
Jared Mullis, new to the scene, huge like open pro style compound archer in the ASA 3D realm, and he just picked up a bow. I think it was like 2 years ago or something like that. I'm looking at my notes, and he's just like rising to the top. He's looking really good here, but it's Lee took this home.
Oh yeah,
there's no need to check score.
No.
It's official.
Nice. Thank you, Mick. You
just when I thought I would forget about that.
You make me feel so at home. I appreciate that very much.
Oh man, I love you guys. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I've got 2 of my favorite people in the entire world, Matt Zirnsak, Jared Mullis on the mics today.
What's up, archery geeks out there?
Yeah. Hey, if you're dropping in, don't forget, get onto the comments, tell us who you are, and say hi, and we'll make time for questions a little bit afterwards. We got Levi's there. Oh, that's good, man. Good to see you, brother. Hey, thanks for coming to the show, guys. And let's just do like a little round table. Matt, what are you at? What are you doing right now? Where are you?
I just got back from a fantastic dinner with my beautiful wife, and sitting in an Airbnb in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, awaiting some tournament. There's a tournament, yes. I think, here in the next day or so, or something like that. So yeah, I'm waiting for people to show up. I've just been here all week.
Such a keener, man. You're already there. Just kidding. You got some good videos on the push. So like you know, the live videos and stuff, and showing the range and stuff like that. Pretty cool, man. That's at the shop though, right? Are you at the shop?
That is the Lancaster Shooting Academy. They are located right below the shop. They actually have that main range is what I've been showing, but they have like a secondary range that's pretty nice, and then a third range as well. But yeah, it's been really cool being here this early. This is the first year that I've ever came this early. I'm really enjoying kind of like easing into this weekend like we are. It's a lot of fun.
It's a good idea. Acclimatize to that environment and just like
cool.
Get to know. Yeah, it's good. So maybe a little bit, the nerves will be a little bit calmer this year. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, whenever they say this is your first round for scoring, yeah, everyone's shitting their pants. Yeah, there's no preparing yourself for that moment.
Right. Mullis, Jared Mullis, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Your video is a little bit crunchy right now, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Can you do you want to sing a song for us before we get started, or what?
No,
got anything lined up?
I'm having flashbacks right now from your intro. Actually, I'm sitting here like all depressed and stuff.
Dude,
I might just
you really made me feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
No, it was very sorry. I didn't mean to make you sound like you didn't know. I just thought it was funny. It was very like at the very beginning he says something about we're here to shoot up. You know, then you're like, it's about this big. It's about this big.
That moment was really funny because I didn't know that was the first year they went on camera and like put a camera on. There's a empty tripod sitting in front of us in the commentary booth, and I'm like, oh, that's new. I wonder what that's for. And then they came out and they put this thing like ratcheted on top of this tripod, turned this big headlight on, and was like, oh, you're going on camera. And it completely flustered me, as you can clearly see. So thank you for replaying that over and over again. That's one of my proudest moments.
Well, we know you're an expert. I'm sorry, Jared, we cut you off there, but I'm telling you, we know you're an expert, and you've been doing it for how many years? How many years have you done that now?
I think 2017 was my first year doing it.
Dude, yeah. You're not doing it though this year. You'll be on stage. So anyway, Jerid, where are you at? What are you doing, man?
Sitting in my truck, actually. My house is a disaster. The kids are in and out of college and home, and I was like, all right, where am I going to do this podcast? And my wife's in there, like, reading a book and listening to music at the same time. So figured I'd wait in the truck. Brian Way's on his way here now, and I told him, I said, hey, if my lights are on in my truck when you get here, just jump on in the truck and join the podcast.
That's how. Yeah, absolutely. Bring Brian on. I thought, Matt? Was Alex? Is Alex down there too?
Not yet, but he will
Okay.
be. Yeah, he's getting in. He's getting in. Tomorrow, midday tomorrow.
That's awesome. So, do you guys feel how you feeling, Jerid? You feel ready? You feel prepped?
Yeah, I'm as ready as I'm going to be. I'm as prepped as I can be. I'm excited. I'm excited to see everybody. That's what, honestly, what I'm looking forward to the most is seeing people and just being around everybody again. Like this, that's why Lancaster is so good outside of the shooting and how big of the tournament is. It's everybody
So when you
to see that you only get to see once a year.
When are you heading down?
I am leaving in the morning. Sometime early. We'll be there. 2-3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
What's your I'm gonna ask both you guys. What's your what time you got to be on the targets? What's your first target time?
So I was Friday at 7:30, and I just moved it like last week to Friday at 4 o'clock or 4:30, whatever that late line is.
Okay, Matt, when are you gonna get on?
I'm shooting Thursday at 4:30.
Okay,
That's the best line. The Thursday line's the best line.
Why?
I think I've shot a different line every year. I just wanted to go as late as I could.
It's the way to go, man. It's just like it's laid back. It's cool. People are arriving. People are so happy to see each other. People are flooding in, like coming to the venue. They just pulled in. They go straight to Spooky Nook and they go watch to try to catch the very end of the 4:30 line, which is the line I like to shoot. It's cool seeing people just hanging out, and like you get done with an end, you turn around, there's a new person standing there you haven't seen since last year. You go up and say what's up and everything between scoring ends and everything. It's great. I love the 4 o'clock line at on Thursday.
So it's more of a feel thing than a strategy thing.
Yeah. It's definitely not a strategy thing. I'm not that threatening to the top 64. I enjoy the vibe of the 4 o'clock line on Thursday. It's a lot of fun.
Well, the rumor
is kind of a strategy.
Is it? What is it? Why is that?
My time. Well, not because of anybody else there. I just like shooting this year. Like all my shootings happened late in the afternoons, early in the evenings, all the way
there you go.
Midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So, I was set for 7:30, and I'm like, man, 7:30. I'm usually still drinking my energy drink and getting jacked, and the mornings like I'm hungry. Like I want to go eat. You know what I mean? Like by the time I eat and get you don't have time to do anything before you shoot at 7:30.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because you look at from a training perspective, like how many people are out there shooting arrows at 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's right. Rare. A lot of people are shooting at lunch or they're shooting in the evenings, and you're exactly right. You practice how you play. So I think the guys that try to get it over with early on Friday and get that 8 o'clock line, I'm with you, man. I think that's a really good point.
No, it is a good point. I was going to ask you, do you have special meals that you eat before you compete? No, I'm serious. Or do you try and avoid coffee, or do you?
You put it in front of me, man, and I'm eating it. Honestly, before a tournament, like it's funny, but I'm drinking a Monster right before and during probably. That's the only thing.
They're just cranking.
They're jacked up. He's jacked. He's jacked on the line.
He dry scoops pre-workout.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. They got Coke in a can and Coke in a baggie. It's weird. I just got time to go.
You're gonna have to take the drug test this year.
I'm just kidding.
Matt, do you got a special diet that you go on while you're competing?
No, I eat pretty clean on a normal day-to-day basis. So just I don't change anything from that. High protein.
You got some zingers for us this year when you're in the booth?
Yeah, always, man. I got a few things up my sleeve,
That's good. How big is that ring again? Is that 4 inches? Is that big? I don't know. Is that big?
Yeah, it's big. 4-inch ring is good, man. 12.2 centimeters.
I don't know, ladies. Is that big? I don't know. 4 inches. You know that meme? You don't know the meme? Anyway, you guys are old. You guys are old. Hey, just want to say welcome to everyone that jumped in. Thanks for saying hi in the comments. Wow, man. If you're here and you haven't said hi, make sure you leave a comment. And if you have any questions for either one of these guys as they get ready for Lancaster Archery Classic 2025, just throw them in the comments and I'll shoot them up here. Well, that was rude.
And then there were two, Mick.
And then there were two. Hey, so that's fine. Anyway, we'll just roll with it.
Is this like on one of those awkward moments with a bunch of friends where the one dude goes to the bathroom without, like, and you're like, oh shit, we got to talk to each other now by ourselves one-on-one.
He's on. He's back on. He's back on.
Yeah. Sweet.
Hey, what we didn't get a chance to really chat with either one of you guys until just recently, but what do you guys do to prepare? What did you do to prepare for this weekend coming up? Matt, what were you doing?
Not a lot of nothing, honestly, to be honest with you. I'd just been deer hunting, honestly. Like 2024 has been an epic year for me in the woods, and I just can't get enough of it. So I hunted hard through October, November, December, and into the first of the year. And so I scored my first indoor round. I shot my first arrow at 20 yards at a feet of face a week and a half ago. So, you know, it's just one of those things.
There.
You know, this tournament, and I'm a testament to this tournament. It's not about how you perform. It's about coming and supporting and being with these people. Like, I am so excited. I know I keep saying this on every one of my podcasts and on every piece of social media content we're putting out. Like, I am so amped up to see everybody. Like, dude, I can't wait to see Jared. I can't wait to see the whole Barebow crew. It's a huge family gathering. It is. It's a yearly reunion we get to have to come support this show. It's the greatest show in Barebow. And honestly, I could care less how I shoot. It's about like seeing everybody and enjoying ourselves with each other and celebrating this amazing class. And I can't wait for the show, honestly. Like, I get the best seat in the house. I'm so lucky to be able to sit there during the finals and be able to sit in the front rows during these eliminations. Like, it's a spectacle, man. It is just, I will never miss this. So to answer your question, like most years, I deer hunted my face off up until the very last minute. And then the calendar switched over to January, and then it's going, oh crap, you have Lancaster in 3.5 weeks. You should get your barebow rig down, and then you just start pounding. So I've been shooting, honestly, every waking moment I can get. I'm lucky enough to work about 1.5 miles away from the way the crow flies from my home archery range. So every day at lunch, I've been putting in 100 arrows. Every evening I'm putting in 100 arrows. So I'm as prepared as you possibly could be, picking the bow up in January and shooting my face off as much as possible. I'm shooting well. I'm happy with how I'm shooting.
That's good. Yeah. I was going to ask.
Fall where they fall, but I'm excited. This is an amazing weekend. I'm happy to be here.
You are not kidding about hunting either. I think it was 4 minutes into the season, and you had already posted a video about your first doe down. I was like, or maybe it wasn't even a doe. I forget what it was, but
yeah, it was a doe.
Pretty crazy, like how much killing you did this year. So congratulations. Congratulations on that. You're already a winner, man. You're already an archery winner. So
appreciate that.
Jared, what are you doing to get ready? What's your regiment? What's your
shooting as much as possible. Usually just start by just picking the bow up and getting to the range and shooting as many arrows as I can. Trying to find a decent tune to hit in the middle, and then lately the last 2 weeks I've been really trying to micro tune everything. I switched limbs about 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks ago.
Where'd you go to?
I went to Backwoods Composites.
Oh yeah. Okay, I saw that. Yeah, that's sweet.
The CACs.
There's your boy right there, man. He's on. Say hi.
There he is. Yeah. Oh yeah, those limbs are amazing. He like anybody that shot him that I've talked to has loved him, and he, Sam alone he makes it so personal. Like when you're like he asked me so many questions that I was like, I don't know that I want a new set of limbs this bad. Like, I don't even know the answer to this question. Like, how, but honestly, by the time I got the limbs, it was like if I could build a limb to feel exactly how I want it to feel, like super smooth all the way through the draw, and then doesn't stack until my draw length, which really every limb stacks at my draw length or my draw length. It's this is right at the end. Like it's like it's right there at my anchor, so it gives me something solid to pull against. But it's super smooth to get to anchor. I love
Nice.
those limbs. But
What
I'm just shooting, man.
how's your process? What have you changed anything since last year? Like from
Yeah,
an
so
execution standpoint?
that's really was my goal, was to try to get my shot, not necessarily make my shot better, but make my shot more repeatable and more uniform from shot to shot. And I'm glad to say I've done a lot. I've done away with all my collapses, which was my biggest issue. I feel like I would get soft at draw and just let it go and almost push the string forward a lot. But I got rid of that. Rod Jenkins is my coach, and he's like, we talk a lot, especially this time of year, like to the point where I think he gets tired of me. But he's working on process, getting it down, grabbing the bow, doing all the things that 3 years ago, being on the stage, the video, the clip that you showed, like really inspired me. Not to be, a winner or win Lancaster or do all this stuff, but like to make my process better, because I was failing on stage in front of everybody, which is the most embarrassing thing that I've
Dude, you
I
hate
don't-
that clip so much, don't you?
Yeah, but
I
you know
do
what?
hate that clip.
I don't think you
But
fail. I don't
watched
feel
it
like you
100
failed.
times in the last month.
Yeah.
Because that's fire under my ass, man. Like, hey,
Yeah.
no one else cares how I do. Like, I care how I do, and I'm doing it for me. Like, why not do the best that I can? And I think last year I did a lot better at that. I had different goals last year. It wasn't everyone wants to make the stage, but I just wanted to shoot a qualifying round in the 280s at Lancaster, and I started off real rough, and then I was like, okay, like, go back to that shot. Started shooting really, really good. I shot up to 280 something my second half, which to me that made me feel really good. Like I accomplished what I wanted to do. And I had some stuff going on at home, and like honestly, like mentally, I wasn't there again. Like I'm at the point now, like if I can't go there and do the best that I can do, and worry about what I'm doing and shooting my bow, then I don't even need to go. So like, if I want to go say hi to everybody, I can leave my bow at home, But if I'm taking that bow and I'm shooting it, like I want to do the best that I can. So I really focused on my shot and my process to the point where I'm doing visualizations in between shots now, slowing my actual tempo down. It's going really, really good. It feels good to know that I don't think I've beaten my problem, but I've discovered the fix to my problems, and I'm actively chasing the fix every day. So it feels good, man. I'm just shooting my butt off, man.
That's so good, Matt. So good to hear. Sounds like a great attitude for going into Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, how are you? How have you changed from last year, or have you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot's changed since last year. Every Lancaster season is kind of like the grind. This is the grindstone. This is like where we actually make progress and changes indoor season. I think anybody that's out there watching that hasn't gone to a national level indoor tournament, like they have to, because it's an opportunity to get 60 high pressure arrows in one weekend. If you're a diehard bow hunter and you're like, target archery is not for me, come stand on this line with thousands of archers and shoot 60 arrows. Like that's a lifetime of bow hunting of high pressure arrows that you could pack into one weekend. So every year I come away with like my next 12 months of training, because I know what I need to work on. And last year started kind of like this blank bail, this blank bail process that Melnick talked about on our last show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one big thing that I'm working on right now is I'm trying to change the end result of shooting an arrow, right? When you shoot an arrow, everyone wants, we're worried about what's happening down at the target. We're hoping on that 10, or we don't want to miss the gold, or wherever your proficiency scale is. We don't want to miss the red. We want to keep them red and in. It's all about like where the arrows are impacting, but what controls and directs where the arrows are impacting is what you're doing on the line. So my thing that I've been working on over the last 12 months is truly not caring where my arrows hit. All I really care about is running the strongest, most repeatable blank bail shot I possibly can on the line, and then judging that before the arrow hits the target. Was that a good shot or not? And if it was a good shot and I didn't hit the 10, then I can make an adjustment and get that arrow to hit the 10. But it comes with what are you doing on the line first and foremost.
Right. Is that like not the hardest thing in the world? Because I've told so many people that like you can't worry about the score. You got to worry about the process.
That's
right.
right.
And I've said that forever to people because that's what I've always been told. I've always known that, but like I think this year is the first year that really meant something to me.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times I drove to the club 2 or 3 different times. I'm 45 minutes from my archery club, and again I don't get to shoot a lot until after, usually it's 8, 9 o'clock at night and after. I drove to the club 3 times this year and didn't even shoot an arrow. I did aiming drills, or I said I'm going to do aiming drills for 15 arrows that I'm going to shoot, and ended up screwing up by being so worried about what I was doing that I wasn't worrying about how I was doing it. Like I catch myself doing that now. 1 arrow, and like I can make a change really, really, really quick. Now I know what my shot is, but that it means a lot when you can say I don't care where the arrow goes. I'm gonna execute, and you always hear if you execute well, it's gonna go in the middle. It's gonna like this year they're going in the middle, man. Like I'm excited, but I haven't tested this under pressure. So like Lancaster to me is
right.
My goal is to do that under the least amount of pressure you're going to get at Lancaster, which is qualifications. I would love to just go out there and shoot my shot and qualify where I feel like my shot can get me. And that would be a win for me this year. The eliminations are great. That's cool. I would give up the eliminations if I could guarantee I could go there and shoot my 60 arrows to my ability. Like I could care less about the stage. I want to be one step at a time. I've got to do it 60 arrows, then I got to do it 12 arrows, 12 more to get to the stage. If I can't do that, I don't deserve to be there. So that's the goal. Try to prove to myself that I can do it one step at a time.
Let's take a second and talk to people who maybe it's their first time going out to Lancaster. What should they expect? In terms of a couple of different areas. What should they expect when they come in, and then what should they expect when they shoot? And then
just walk, be a receptacle, right? Just like walk in expecting to be a deer in the headlights. Like walk in understanding that this is going to be potentially a complete shit show. Like it's okay. Like you don't know what you don't know, and this is the biggest thing that like frustrates me to no end. Is I have a list as long and as tall as I am tall about all these people that are saying I'm not ready. I'm coming next year. I'm coming the year after. My scores aren't where they need to be, and my biggest gripe with that is until you go and experience standing on the line with thousands of other archers at a big national tournament, you're not going to know what to work on until you've been there. So you're going to spend the next 12 to 24 months getting ready, and I'm using air quotes, right? Getting as ready as you think you are. And then you're going to show up and go, shit, I wish I would have showed up last year or the year before that. So I now know what to work on, because you don't know what you don't know. You're no matter what, you're going to get yourself to a 510 shooter or a 520s or a 530 shooter, and you're going to show up at a national tournament and you're going to shoot a 495.
Yeah.
And you're not going to know what to work on until you actually stand on that line. So show up as you're a 495 shooter right now and go post a 465 and then go, oh, I get it now. And then expedite your learning curve. And that's the whole goal. So like, just come and suck it all in and talk to people, like walk up to Jared, walk up to Demmer, walk up to Eric Janssen. Like every single person is willing to help you with anything you have going on. So just be a sponge and just check your ego out the door. That's my best advice.
See, that's great advice. Yeah, it's great advice. There's no substitute for experience, for sure. Jared, you were going to say something?
No, I agree with what he said. I mean, that's what's cool about Lancaster too, is you have all of the knowledge that you could possibly imagine with Barebow in the same area. And I've not met one person or seen another person turn down talking to somebody new. You know what I mean? Especially if you're new, they're gonna want to help you. Like we get anybody, I think, gets, excited that someone even wants to know what, you know what I mean? They want to ask you a question, It was really cool the other day. I had a local guy reach out to me. He's starting a NASP program close to the house, and he's like, hey, I saw some videos of you, and I'm new to archery, but I've done it for a few years, but I'm going to coach this team. Like, do you have like a hat or a buckle or anything that you could like donate to the team, just to, like, inspire these kids? And I'm like, man, like, I'm not the right guy for that. Like, I would, yeah, I'll give you anything that I have, but like, I am nothing compared to the knowledge that's at Lancaster, like there's a lot of stuff there. Like, I wish that people like that could go there and see all the knowledge in the world about barebow.
So speaking of that, let's take it to the next level here. Who's who at Lancaster this year? Are all the regular suspects going to be there? Matt, you mentioned Eric Janssen. Is he coming? Is he flying in? Is there going to be new people that we see sometimes in international and we haven't seen them in a while or haven't seen them ever? Is there anyone that is kind of really interesting that we need to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, so you have all the Canadians coming down in force for sure. You got Raymond Wang, you got Alex Melnick, they're coming down. You got another smaller contingent of Canadians coming down as well. I think there's probably 3 or 4 additionals that are coming down as a group. You got all the Swedes. I got to see them today. I was shooting over at the Lancaster Academy today. Eric Janssen, Lena Björklund, Leo Pedersen, all those guys are there. So got to see them shoot some arrows downrange. They're looking tight, getting ready to go. Came in a few days early. Frederick was not there. I think he's getting in later tonight or tomorrow morning.
I've never met him, but that dude is cool,
that dude
man.
can.
Like,
So from what
cool, dude.
I got some inside info from some of the Swedes here today, and it sounds like he's shooting pretty tight this year. So he's going to be one to watch. We got the Denmark crew coming. We got Oliver coming over. I'm not sure if Ollie's coming over, but you got a couple huge monsters in the Denmark barebow pool coming down. And then you obviously got all the U.S. guys here. Grayson's showing up again this year. Apparently he's been shooting arrows downrange. So if he shows up, that's scary. Demmer's a scary dude, or Grayson's a scary dude. Demmer's coming. He was shooting some really good scores. Then he had his finger accident. Look, he sent me some scorecards earlier today on his latest practice round, and I can guarantee he's going to beat me in qualifications with 2 fingers rather than 3 with a giant slice on his finger. So he's shooting well. It's not going to booger him up too bad. But then you got all the other big names, man. They're all coming. Everyone's coming. It's going to be awesome.
That is amazing. Grayson coming out. That's he always ends up getting in there. It feels like he doesn't even try. That bugs me. That kid.
He doesn't. I don't think I don't think he's a human, man. I had to shoot with Grayson at NFAA, and we were all like, I think it was like the top 4 bail, and it was me, him, and Winker, and Colby Cox, I think. And Grayson's just like that. Like,
yep. Hey, so
he and I were complete opposites. And I was like, man, am I bothering this dude? Like, I feel like I'm just bothering him. I'm singing while I'm shooting my bow, and then he just walks up and just shoots, doesn't say anything, doesn't have any emotion.
And honestly, like coming here and like participating and being a part of it is like, I'm just such an archery fan, like, of the sport itself. I'm so jazzed about it. Like, you got the Way brothers coming. You got Jared, obviously. He's no slouch. He's going to be up there. You got Matt Hudson. Ryan Davis is coming. It's just like the names can keep coming off. Like, and don't count out past performers like Richard Barker, Scott Bills, like these dudes that have been at the top. Like, anybody can show up, right, and just post up a great score and just make a march for the final stage, dude. It's like, and then look at the women's division. You got Fawn, you got Lena shooting out of her head, which is amazing. Chincia's coming again. Maggie's shooting great. I mean, it's just going to be freaking amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see the women put up just amazing scores. That was in the shoot off too. They always seem to be a little less stressed than you men. I don't know what it is, but when you look at them,
they're the superior sex. That's why.
100%. Hey, and screw Demmer because this is him. I just got a notification on Instagram. He went live. And he's doing arrows. So I went, dude, can you come over to my podcast? And I don't know if he's going to do that or not.
That's great.
That's funny. He's out there making arrows. He's he's probably making arrows for this weekend.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had to retune with his 2-finger approach.
Right. He's like,
sure.
What was that? You guys are too young, but there's a Bond movie, The Man with the Golden Gun, I think it was called, or something like that. And he had to get a special gun because he only had 3 fingers. Anyway, never mind.
You are dating yourself, Mick.
I know. Hey, let's get back to equipment though, and see where that takes us. Because give us the who you're shooting, what you're shooting, and then arrows as well. What your tune is and what arrows you're shooting. Matt, why don't you start? If you don't mind.
One of the here actually.
Yeah, one of the in skinny or fat arrows. That was one of the questions from Lisa.
Sure.
Yep.
So got my Exceed 27-inch riser here. I think the Exceed is a fantastic riser if you like a aggressive shot feedback. Like if you like a lot of shot feedback, the Exceed is a really great riser. Got the aluminum Hoyt Barebow kit down here. I'm running one of the Kaminsky new Barebow dampening weights. Yeah. I got 5 ounces on top, running some Tradtech wood core RC Woods, running a biter plunger and Spig rest, and running a grip sear this year off the edge of my grip here. That's my riser, and that's my workhorse there. Really enjoying that. It's about right at 40 pounds, probably 40 to 42 pounds off the fingers. And then I'm running these gigantic behemoths. They're 2315s, so extremely overspine for what I'm doing right now. Full length, 150 up front. I have 3 parabolic chartreuse feathers, biter nocks on the back. And these things punish me if I don't give it 100%. So if my shot breaks and it's a 95% of everything, I'm dropping in 8 ring low every single time. Yeah. So these arrows keep me honest, but this is what you get when you hunt up till January 10th and then try to get ready. So you just grab something that flies well and away you go. So that's where I'm at.
That's the size of the 8. Those are the size of the 8 ring, right?
I know, right? That's my rig. So yeah, I'm running a 23 diameter. I'm going a fat shaft this year.
That's awesome. What are you doing, Jared?
Well,
I've
actually
it's secret. Is it secret?
No.
Okay, tell us.
No,
you made it sound like you were secret. Hey, I don't want to tell this story.
My bow's on the table in the house next to all the arrows that I've got fletched still tonight. So I'm kind of jealous that Dimmer's got a head start on putting his arrows. I'm shooting a Border 27, the Tempest riser. I shot that last year. I really, really liked it. I was kind of torn between my WF-29 and that riser last year, and I had never shot the Border, so I got the Border and shot it, loved it. And then this year it was the same thing. What am I going to shoot? Right now, and I don't know what it is that, the 29's an easier bow to shoot. It shoots really, really good. I feel like I get away with a lot more shooting the 29. But the Border makes me shoot harder. It makes me shoot stronger, or it shows me that it's got a lot of feedback. So I'm shooting the Border. I'm shooting the new CAC limbs from Sam at Backwoods Composites.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm shooting triple T strings. That's the only place you can call and get strings like that real quick, and they're always consistent. I don't like to make strings anymore. I don't have time, with work and stuff like that. I want to say I want this and have it show up at my door and not have to mess with it.
No, Triple T's a sponsor, man. I love those guys.
Right.
I always say, hey, go there if you can.
they're Sam. They are fat limbs. He told me they were the fattest ones he's ever made. I thought he was giving me a pun, but he said they were the widest ones he's made so far. Those things are awesome, man. Those limbs.
Backwoods
Any of
limbs
you
are
people
fat,
watching-
man. Those are some wide ass limbs. You ain't getting a boat
imagine
cover over
having the
those.
fatter ones, though. Like even the fatter ones. Like I'm like, dang, dude. Like again, he was so smart. Like while he was building these limbs for me, that I was just like, man, you keep asking me questions and saying stuff like I don't even want these things. Like you're making it too technical for me. I'm not a technical person. Like I don't
Dude,
even know what you're talking about.
That dude's a scientist. That dude's a scientist. You talk to him, it's
He
like
is.
what? I know. I had to Wikipedia a lot of the stuff he said to me last time I talked to him.
Right. There you go. And I'm shooting victory arrows again. I'm still torn between a couple of different kinds. Really, I'm taking VAPs and I'm taking 3D HVs with me to Lancaster.
No FAC 23s.
Yeah, no fat ones.
No, I'm not a fat arrow guy. I never have been. I can't aim them as well. I like to really, really aim tight. I tried lollipopping, and that works ish. But my higher scores come when I'm aiming at the X. If I
So
can't see the
you're
X, I can see the 10.
you're cutting the X with your arrow tip.
Yes, I'm cutting the X with my arrow tip. Yeah, I can tell a lot by aiming that. I can tell if I've got too much movement. I can tell if I'm not pulling hard enough. I can tell. The more precise that I try to aim, the more I can tell about what I'm doing. So I just put it in the middle and start pulling, but I can see in that arrow, I can see a lot of yellow around it. That's why I'm kind of torn between the VAPs and the 3D HVs. The VAPs are a little bit smaller. They're a 166 arrow, and then I think the 3D HVs are 204. But the VAPs really get in there good. But they weren't scoring as high as the 3D HVs. So if I catch myself, I've got tunes written down now, which I used to not ever do. But if I catch myself getting in a hurry or getting yippy, I might switch from the small arrow to the big arrow just to see, you know what I mean, depending on what my nerves do and what my eyes do that day. But I'm shooting small arrows because I aim them better. They've always worked for me. That's what I made this with. That's what I've always shot for 3D. It's just cool for me that I can tune the same arrow for 3D and because indoors for me is usually just Lancaster and then everything else is outside. So I like to shoot the smaller arrows.
What's the cut this year? What do you think the cut is?
Jared, I'll let you give a prediction.
Well, I think the cut is.
Yeah.
I hope it's about 2 points under what I shoot. I want to make that.
You want to finish middle pack. You want to finish middle pack.
Honestly, I feel like every year people say it's going to be higher and higher and higher, and it's usually around about the same. I don't even know what was the cut last year?
It's around 500. It was around 500.
I don't remember. I know last year or the year before last. I think it was. I think it dipped down in the 4s in the last 3 years somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna throw a number out. Like 510 feels comfy for me. I think 510 is going to be the cutoff. Yeah. I mean, every year I would love to see the top 64 cut off, and I think we're headed this direction. I do. I would love to see it at 525 to make the cut. But the higher that score gets, that just means the top pile of people are moving upward. I just hope it. There you go, Levi. 511 was last year, but I hope it doesn't discourage people from coming, right? Because there are droves and droves, like thousands of barebow archers out there in the country that have not been to this shoot that are shooting 490 to 510. And if the qualification score, the cutoff gets to that 520, 530 range, where that would be amazing if it got that high for the top 64 barebow. That just shows where we're going as a class and technology and information that's available. I think it's going to deter a lot of people from showing up. So I hope it stays.
I think it would too.
Comfortably in the 510 range,
Yeah, I feel like that would turn a lot of people off too, man. Because I know people that are. You talk to a lot of people too, Matt, Mick. There's a lot of people that are having downs right now with their scores. Like they're going through a little slump, and they're shooting these scores, and they're like, man, I can't believe I just shot this. And I'm like, dude, that's a great, if that's your worst score, that is a phenomenal score. Like, I know people that get mad when they shoot in the 70s or the low 80s. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, dude, people would die to shoot in the 270s, 280s.
Hell
like,
yeah,
if
man.
that's your bad day, then keep going. Like, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
think that's
Do you know what?
coming from the motivation.
I think people just need to like look at this entire weekend as not the biggest tournament on the East Coast specifically for Barebow, especially. I think they just need to look at this as like an opportunity to like indoctrinate themselves into this Barebow family and like learn and treat it as an entertainment weekend, like more of like a lifestyle weekend, like a TAC event or an ETAR. Like they need to look at Lancaster as this type of destination style archery event, because like, look for me, for instance, how long have I been shooting this? How long have I been part of the push and creating content around Barebow stuff? And I think last year I shot a 495. Within the last 4 years, I shot a 465 while I was there. Just an absolute target panic mess one year. And so like at the end of the day, no one cares what you score. People are only concerned about what they score. And it just needs to be like, let's go support this tournament. It's a great, unbelievable, entertaining weekend. That's what we need to go to. We need to paint this picture that way.
Before we got on the mics, you know, one of the things I didn't know, and one of the things I think some people just don't know, is that how pretty and how nice Lancaster, Pennsylvania is. And, you know, when we went out to ETAR, I was just amazed at how beautiful the scenery is just driving out there. I mean, it's beautiful country, man. It's God's country. And like you said, if you're a foodie, Matt was telling me before we got on, if you're a foodie, they got great places to eat out there. So I've never heard anyone say that, Matt, but that's a great.
Yeah. I mean, my wife and I come out every single weekend. We treat this like we have 5 kids. And so we use the Lancaster weekend kind of as like a bougie getaway, long weekend. And when I say the word bougie in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in the same sentence, everyone's like, what are you talking about? There's just Amish and what do you guys go churn butter for the weekend, that type of thing. But honestly, there are 50 4- and 5-star restaurants in downtown Lancaster. There's little breweries, little distilleries. It's like a Asheville. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Asheville type of area, North Carolina. Like it's just a hip, cool little town that has like extremely high quality food. Tons of culture here, and it's right in downtown Lancaster. And so when people come to the shoot, they're like staying in hotels that are way out the highway by Spooky Nook, which is where the actual event is taking place. But me and my wife like to stay in downtown Lancaster, and it's awesome. It's amazing from a date weekend perspective. It's the way to go. It's an incredible place.
It's a destination. It's a destination really archery place.
It's an awesome place.
Yeah.
It's an awesome place. If something happened tomorrow and I could never make the cut again, then I knew I could make the cut, I would still go to Lancaster.
1,000%.
Not like I'm fortunate enough that I sometimes can compete. You know what I mean? But like, if I couldn't compete, I would be there. Like, I wouldn't miss it. I couldn't dream of missing it. Once you go, it becomes this thing. Like for Barebow people, it's like the Compton of Barebow. You know what I mean? Like
you're exactly right.
Together because everybody's there. But the only difference is we have people coming from other countries that
which is actually cool.
Never get to see again.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, which is really good.
With.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's Saturday morning is like that moment. You know, these guys that are coming for their first time, they come and they shoot their qualification score. So they kind of like put their head down. They're trying to stay low, stay under the radar. They go and they shoot their practice on the practice ranges. If they bought the practice range pass, they go and shoot. They get to see a bunch of Barebow archers and stuff. They're practicing getting ready for the line, but then they go and shoot their score, and then the scores fall where they may. But I think the biggest eye-opening moment is the next morning on Saturday morning at the eliminations. Like if you don't make the cut, I mean, there's 300 some Barebow archers here. Only the top 64 are shooting head-to-heads. And so you have the other 250 archers that didn't make the cut, all standing behind this big line of the best archers that showed up this weekend. And you start looking at this in that moment, those next 2.5 hours, that show that gets put on there you could just see it. Like you could see it in everybody's eyes that it's their first time there. It's just like, I'm never missing this again. Like that show on Saturday morning for eliminations is the most epic showing of archery in barebow that we get all year. It's amazing. It's sad because we don't get to see it. We don't get to see it.
Dude,
because
I've got goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know.
Actually.
It's not live streamed, right? We only get to see the top 8. But for every epic moment that we have on the live stage of the top 8 and the top 4 for the women, there are 20 of those moments that happen on Saturday morning earlier that day on the elimination round in front of 250 people standing there watching these targets. It's amazing.
So one Barebow project does a. Sorry, Jared, go ahead.
The year that I made the stage, Matt was going around talking to people, which made it actually a lot cooler too. I'm kind of bummed you're not doing anything down there this year, but
what do you mean?
Like you weren't doing any podcasts or something? Your last podcast said you weren't doing any.
Oh no, yeah. On Friday, PJ Riley, we're gonna have a. I guess this is the first time I'm announcing it. I was gonna keep it a surprise, but
here we go. Breaking news
on Friday. On Friday, we have a dedicated podcast push booth on the Barebow practice range. And so I'm going to have a table full of all of our products so people can touch and feel the products. But more importantly, there's going to be 4 chairs set up and all my podcast stuff is going to be there. I'm going to be podcasting all day Friday from the Barebow practice range, just grabbing all the top shooters, asking about their equipment, where their head's at, their execution. So the weeks after Lancaster is just going to be a rapid drop of every day. I'm going to be dropping a podcast with a top archer from around the world. It's going to be awesome.
That's amazing.
I misunderstood. I thought I thought maybe you just had a regular push. My bad. Oops. I didn't mean that.
There's a lot going on. I will say just a shout out to the. Just want to say a shout out to the Barebow project. They typically have someone run around with a camera and live streaming some of the stuff. So if you can, you get on Facebook on Barebow project and you can at least see some of it and then keep up with the scores online. Cause that's exciting too. And one other thing I want to mention, I want to talk to you guys about it and get your opinion on this, but you talked about the cut, right? So let's say it's 500 this year, somewhere around there. It doesn't matter. Like, dude, it's a different game. I mean, I've talked to Demmer about this. The eliminations are a different game. Like you might shoot the lowest in the qualification, but you could make it pretty far. You can make it pretty far. Am I off base there, or what do you guys think? Because it feels like a different game. It looks like a different game to me.
I feel like every year there's upsets, or not. Like people that you don't even know that are knocking somebody else out that you were like, that was your top 5. That's who you were thinking was going to make the stage. That eliminations is rough. It's hard. Like while everyone's sitting there watching you and it's this great atmosphere and great thing to watch, being one of those guys, it's kind of nerve wracking because everybody's there watching you. And like 1 minute they might be watching somebody else. But next thing you know, you look over and people are like looking behind you and like, oh, can you believe that Jared just did this?
Yeah,
or,
right.
You know what I mean? Or this guy dropped an arrow, or all the stuff. Like it's pretty crazy, man. That eliminations is.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at a scorecard, you have 20 rows, right? And those 20 rows have 3 arrows in them, and that makes up a 600 round. And so whether you're a 520 shooter or a 575 shooter, if you took just 4 of those ends and highlighted them that are consecutive and moved them up and down your scorecard,
right?
A 520 shooter has a link of 4 ends that are shooting 112, 116, 118. And if that dude links up those 4 ends versus somebody that's shooting a 575 and their 4 ends have slightly less than theirs, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like the eliminations are so freaking epic. Like the road to the stage, it is grueling. Like honestly, I think we could break the internet if Lancaster just had a live stream only of the Barebow eliminations and followed them like we do on the final stage. It's crazy. I mean, I could name off 10 matches from last year's eliminations that happened on Saturday morning that the general public never gets to see. And it's just epic shooting.
Yeah. It feels like a different game. It looks like a different game. It looks like there's more pressure because when you're on a line with 1,000 people, you can put pressure on yourself too, and there is pressure there. But then when you have all the other barebow shooters behind you, especially, I mean, it's almost worse when they're going for you. It's almost worse when people are like, "Hey, do good."
Right.
It's just amazing. Hey, for everyone that's listening, we got quite a few people here. If you didn't say hi, say hi. I'd like to give a shout out to you and put you on the video. And we're winding down here. So if you have questions for these amazing archers, please leave them in the comments, and I'll try and get to everyone's questions here. I'll leave at least 5 minutes here at the end to get to those if people ask questions. Sometimes Matt and Jared are doing such a good job about answering everything because maybe we won't get it. We'll see. But
I've got a question too for Matt as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so the guys that are going to Lancaster for the first time, you can reach out to Matt on the practice range, and Matt likes to go live on the practice range and do eliminations. Are you going to be doing that again this year?
Yeah, we can do that again this year.
Yeah. Like that's that's your chance. You want to put some pressure on yourself and feel Lancaster. Come find Matt or come find me. I'll go live. Like, people are watching. It's different, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's
Going
cool,
going
but,
live
like,
is
it gives you
scary,
this,
man.
Like, yeah, it is. It is. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Hey, while we're waiting for some questions to come in, and again, guys, don't be shy. Ask questions.
Is there anybody watching?
We have over 100 watching right now. So okay, listen. I got a question. I want to get off Lancaster for like 1 minute. 1 minute. We'll get back to it. Vegas. The format down there. We talked a little bit earlier about how, you might be intimidated to go to Lancaster, which you shouldn't be, we clarified. You shouldn't be, but Vegas has a non-intimidating way of doing their flights. What do you guys think about the Vegas shoot? Is that worthwhile going to?
I've never been to Vegas, but I have a very, very good opportunity to go this year. I was thinking about going. I still haven't decided yet. I don't even know if the cutoffs or signups are over with, but I may have a pretty good opportunity to go. And I hope to do that because it'll be my first time. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of information. I've never been either. And I don't know. There has to be something in that, right? I've never gone. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the format. I feel like Lancaster does it well, gives the barebow the stage. They do it right. Vegas doesn't give barebow the spotlight like Lancaster does. So I'm going to continue to support Lancaster at all costs, and I hope to make it to Vegas one year. I hear it's great. I've been to Vegas multiple times on just general vacations and stuff, and I think that would be a great time the idea of going and shooting 30 arrows every day for 3 days consecutive, and then what else you have to do for the rest of the time other than just chill in Vegas with your wife. Like, that sounds amazing. So I'll probably make it one of these years, but it would be really cool if they would give barebow some big stage action.
Yeah. You think that they would learn from Lancaster. I mean, the number one video is always the barebow class, right? Always the barebow class.
But I think it shows we have like barebow, I believe, I don't want to misquote this, but we are the number 1 or number 2 class from attendance perspective every single year at the Lancaster Classic.
What do you attribute that to?
It's because we have the big stage.
Because we got the big stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Build it, they will come, Nick.
That's true. Field dreams, man. Field dreams.
Right, brother.
Longbow, guys.
Oh man, it's gonna be epic, dude. I can't wait.
What the?
Good for them, man. Good for them.
Amazing.
I'm excited that I don't have to shoot.
Dude.
I won't have to shoot against one this year. That's what I'm excited
You broke
about.
everyone's heart. You broke everyone's heart when you beat Trevor.
Trevor almost had you, brother.
That's some crap too, man. How am I that guy? Like, I even called it the day before. I told Matt, I said, my luck, I'll just get teamed up with some barebow guy. Ha ha. The next day, first round, who is it? The only barebow guy, or the only longbow guy there. Yeah, longbow guy. I'm like, no.
That was so funny.
He was shooting
I'm glad
lights
they
out,
have
man.
their own class. I hope that it goes well, and I hope that they keep the attendance up. I hope that they can grow it as much as we've grown barebow.
just for the longbow guys out there, I've been pushing on the side, I tried my best to get the big stage. I wanted to make the color commentary for the longbow class this year. I wish they would have given us the class for the big stage this year, but I understand why. So everybody that signed up in the longbow class, show up. Do not bail last minute. Let's be here this week, and I guarantee you next year you guys are going to have the big stage, and it's going to freaking break the internet.
The guarantee there. God.
It's going to break the internet if you guys show up in force this year, and then show up in numbers for next year. Like longbow, touching the nock with your finger, shooting wood arrows, world archery class rules. Like it is going to be the most epic archery product from a content perspective that Lancaster can put on. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be amazing.
I hope it's good for the manufacturers too. You know, it's good for the people. It's good for trad archers, right? And hopefully it's good for the manufacturers that are making, you know, really amazing.
Well, what I hope it does is it pushes some of those guys that are hardcore trad bow hunters out there, that are longbow dudes, that are hunting with their wood arrows, and they're looking at the Lancaster Classic. They're looking at all this content that's coming out there, and they're going to see something on the live stream that is relatable to how they experience archery. And I think that's going to be really important. Who's this guy? Let's go. Is this Brian Way?
Brian, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Brian Way on the show, like competitor. Are you warm enough?
I just walked into.
Oh, it was like minus 14 there this morning, so I had a nice warm car ride down, but had to get out to walk over here.
Did you knock off your brother so that there was no competition for you this week?
He's not riding with me. He's at the mercy of the airplanes.
Oh man. Well, we're on the tail end. Thanks for joining us, though. I do appreciate it. It's great to have all these amazing people on here. Hey, doesn't look like we got a lot of questions for you. So, you know, we're close to the hour.
Zero questions.
Well, there wasn't. People are
it's just
shy.
It's just because you did such a good job interviewing, Mick. That's all. You answered all the questions.
When my mentor says something nice like that to me, I'm not going to take it as condescending at all. I'm going to take it as serious and sincere compliment. So I appreciate you, Matt Zirnsak.
Hey, I appreciate you too, Mick Chambers.
And I appreciate the Push Archery who sponsors this channel.
Watch dimmer fletch arrows, right?
And I appreciate, and I just want to give a shout out to archerypass.com, who's the sponsor, and CD Archery as well. So thanks to the Push. You guys have been really great to me, Matt, and I do appreciate that. Shout out to Santo and Longbow Outlaws. Those guys, man, that's a lot of heart that, you know,
good for them, man. They deserve this class, dude. And they deserve the prize money. They deserve it all. You know, it's going to be awesome. We're going to give away an Alpha Pack and a Delta back pocket quiver to the winner of the longbow class. I just decided that right now because I'm so jazzed up for those.
See guys. That, Santo? So you come out to the show. We got people committing to things, and I appreciate Matt. Thanks very much for that. Archery Geek is also putting in some prize money too for the longbow guys. So I appreciate that you jumped in on that too, man. So thank you very much.
An offer as well for longbow. If Santo makes the stage, anybody else that makes the stage, I'll give you $500 to let me be your coach so I can kick Santo's bow.
For next year.
Bring it. $500. As long as Santo's on the stage, you get me backstage. I got it.
He wasn't here. He wasn't here for the intro.
I remember that moment. That was
a nightmare. Man, Santo's cool, dude. That was a nightmare, man. Like, he did not mean to do that. Like, at first I didn't know Santos, so I'm like, did he freaking do that on purpose? Now that I know him, I'm like, if he did, then whatever. Like, I can't even be mad at the guy, but like that was a wreck, man. That was yeah. Leave it to me to be that guy. And then, by the way, you played I like turtles thing, or liking turtles.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah. What was that?
I don't remember anything. Dude, I don't. This is all I remember.
Dude,
backstage, I'm like,
Jared was in straight blackout mode at that moment, dude.
Matt Zirnsak and Zirnsak, This one promises to be a good one. We have 8 competitors that are all going to shoot up for that #1 spot.
And we wait for this all year round. And the men's got a big thing to keep up because the women just put on an
Huge
unbelievable
shoes
show.
to fill. Zirnsak,
Yeah.
it's Barebow time.
buddy.
Tell us about a Barebow.
Okay, so Barebow is basically a stripped down Olympic recurve. No sights, no stabilizers, no release aids, no clickers. Essentially, our bow has to fit through a 12.2 centimeter ring. That's not very big. No, it's about a 4-inch ring, right?
Other than liking turtles, right now, that's all I can think of. No, it's awesome. I mean, this is crazy. I tried to tell myself.
I'm like, I watched that like 4 times. Did
Bro,
you say
you
other than
couldn't
liking
have
turtles?
fast-forwarded through my fumbles. And you had
No,
to-
I'm trying. I tried to fast forward. I swear to God. I tried to, but it was
Right. I thought of it for sure. Dude.
Jared, we should just hang up.
Um,
I think that's what he's telling us. We should just hang up on him.
We're
That's
done.
what
We're
I'm
done
getting at.
anyway. You guys go ahead. Explain it.
I'm blaming that's John Dimmer. That's John Dimmer, man. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, I don't even know what to say when I go out there. And he goes, just tell me you like turtles or something, and walked away. And I'm like, shit, like okay, like. And then he kicked my bow. I had to go shoot it. I go out stage. The first thing they say is that. I'm like, other than liking turtles, I don't know what to say right now. Like, that's all he said. No shit. Like, leave me alone, man.
They should have tested you for drugs right after that. You said that. They should have said, "No, dude, get down. You're high." I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles.
I didn't know what to say, and John said to tell him I like turtles. So.
Okay, I love both of you
Don't
guys.
listen to
I love
John Dimmer.
I love the barebow community. I love the longbow community. I love Lancaster Archery. I like the Kofal for putting on this amazing event. PJ Riley is my hero. Brian's my hero. You guys are my heroes. Love you guys. Any last words to say, Matt, Jared?
Nope. Appreciate you having us on, Mick.
Thanks,
Been a
guys.
couple
Good
days,
luck,
brother.
everyone. Good
Later,
luck.
Mick.
Peace out.
Wish
We'll
I
talk to you.
would've
Hunt the good
listened
stuff,
to
man.
them right now.
Bye. See you.